Akashic records? What are they? What is the difference between the Akashic record library and your own Akashic records? What is the difference from accessing the Akashic records versus accessing some parts of your life, past, present, and future, through a psychic reading, a mediumship reading? There are differences and nuances that sometimes are not quite easily understood. For us humans living on Earth that have come into this incarnation prior to 2012, we came into an Earth that was very dense, an Earth that had a lot of contrast between darkness and light, between yin and yang, and between all the experiences of the dualism that are typical and natural and inherent of a third dimensional experience of life on Earth. So for us who came into our bodies at that time on Earth, we came into a very low dense experience. The world was low density, a lot of darkness, a lot of dark thoughts, a lot of uh, push and pull between good and bad, right or wrong, light and darkness, and all of those big contrasts. And because of that, and because our frequency being very low, it makes it difficult for us to raise our frequencies enough that we can access higher dimensional planes. What was done for us to be able to access the breadcrumbs of the universe was create this library, this electromagnetic library at a lower dimensional frequency, high enough that we can reach it when we have gained the skills to do it, because we can all do that. We benefited from the creation of this multi-dimensional library at a frequency high enough that cannot be accessed just by anybody, but low enough that we as humans can access. And what this library, which is an electromagnetic library, contains is anything that has happened for humankind in the timeline from this moment to the past, and all of the potential outcomes in humanity from this moment further into the future. This is also a little bit of a conundrum for us as humans, because we experience life in this linear form as if there were a before, now, and after, when in reality, time is a fourth dimensional construct that implies that everything is happening at the same time. Mind blowing, I know. But picture this, picture a big lake, and imagine time and space is that whole big lake, and that all the moments in time, past, present, and future, are different drops of water in that lake. And now you can understand more that you could be having this experience in the surface of the lake, while another aspect of you is having an experience in an Egyptian lifetime, which is another drop at the lake, or you may having another experience, another moment in time in the future, which is another drop of the lake. So all these things are happening at the same time, but we don't perceive it that way. So for us, there come moments when we are a little bit lost in our lives and we would need confirmation. We would love to have some idea of what are our choices. And because we sometimes are confronted a moment where we need to make several choices, we would love to have an idea of, well, what would happen in the future if I took this path, if I made this choice versus this other choice. And because this is what I love to call a free will technology, we have decision points in our lives, we can actually decide to take any of those paths regardless of the outcomes. But there are some of those outcomes that we have designed for ourselves and for this lifetime that have a more beneficial potential outcome, or you could say have a more beautiful expression of our lives if we take that path. Many times I've been confronted with clients who wanted to know, hey, I'm here in this moment struggling within my relationship with my husband, and I'd like to know if it's best for us to divorce or stay together. And it has been amazing for me to observe so many different answers to that same question. On one particular time, it was fascinating to observe that regardless of staying together or separating, these people, and especially the person sitting in front of me, would have had an equally fulfilling life path. And other times, it was very clear that that relationship was complete and that the best possible outcome was for each one of them continuing life on their own. So, as you can see, there is no black and white, right or wrong, and there are many possible outcomes in our lives, and we have many choices that we can make. So, we have the Akashic Record Library, which, as I was explaining a few minutes ago, holds all of what happened for humankind, and it is for everybody on earth. But then we have our own record, or we could call it either our own book, our own LP, our own CD, but we have our individual, all lifetimes record that sits within the Akashic Record Library. So there is the Akashic Record, which is our own personal book, file, CD, whatever you want to envision it as, versus the whole library. And the other question that people don't understand is, well, how does an Akashic record reading, so accessing the Akashic record and looking at what are potential outcomes and sometimes past lives or past moments of this life are illuminated as important moments for lessons that haven't completely been fulfilled or that must be finished in the learning or the completion, and therefore they're showing up in the past so that we can look at how in this lifetime we can connect to that lesson and give it completion, versus other times where people that are open channels like myself can talk to the divine team of the person. So, what is the divine team? Very briefly here, it is a team that is always with us, supporting us, even if we're not aware that they're with us. And the team is formed by saints of all times, loved ones that have passed, aspects of ourselves that are off planet, aspects of ourselves, all kinds of beings of life, angels, guardian angels, spirit guides, you name it. And this divine team, this galactic team, this cosmic team, this soul team, you can give it the name you want, we as souls, before incarnating together with our divine team, establish what this lifetime is going to be about. What are the lessons we want to confront? What are those milestones that whatever choice points we take, road A, road B, road C, road Z, no matter what, we will come into that milestone that nonetheless will always end up there at some point. And this divine team is always with us, supporting us. And so when I do a reading for a person, I don't call it an Akashic record reading because in reality, yes, I'm accessing the Akashic records with the person's permission because like I said, permission-based technology, if you heard me on many other videos, but also I call in their divine team. I call in a vision that is guided through the most benevolent love and light creator, mother, father, God, universe, whatever name you want to give it. And I can access information for this person that goes also beyond the Akashic records, such as advice from your divine team. So there is a difference, and that's why I was saying, well, what is the difference between accessing an Akashic record or having a psychic or a medium doing a reading for me, or a clairvoyant, or another person? And that brings us to the other conversation, which is the difference between psychic and medium and channel. And I have other videos about that. I'll put the links in the comments below so you can look into them if you're curious to understand the difference. And In this video, my intention was to explain to you what is an Akashic record, what an Akashic record reading can do for you, what is the Akashic record library, and I hope I have answered this for you in the most expansive way. I'm looking forward to answering your questions. Feel free to leave me comments. Please remember to subscribe to this channel by clicking below now. And if you are curious about other ways in which I can support you, please go into my website, www.theawakenedpath.com, and check how we can collaborate and what I can do for you. Lots of love and light.